Hi guys, welcome in. Today we're going live on the Josh Tan Show. Hey, who's that again?
Hey everyone, it's Gerald. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Jared, you just came back from holiday, right? And you chipped in
Right.
to this podcast. Where do you go?
I went to Paris with my wife. It was lovely. The weather, the clouds. Oof. So right now it's like 20 plus degrees, like aircon all around. Free of charge.
I think the end of year, everybody's looking to travel. So maybe audience-wise, you are traveling somewhere. Then stay safe because Paris can be dangerous, right? I mean, I've always heard negative stuff, theft and stuff. How is it like on the ground?
Yeah, so I went to meet a bunch of Paris friends, right? French friends. So there were like 8 of them. Every single one of them have been robbed before. And robbing is different from stealing, right? Where you left something there and then someone take it away. Robbing is like someone runs to you and take it from you and kind of double. It's kind of there's a aggression there. So everyone had that before. My friend who is Asian, which I look very like Asian, she was robbed I think 4 or 5 times. Yeah, so she grew up there.
So keep your bag in front, right, and stuff. I haven't been to Paris. I think that's a common advice.
Yeah, so what I did was that because over there it's cold, so you always must wear a jacket. So I wear my bag, then I wear my jacket over my back. So there's no way you can rob me, unless you cut my jacket. So yeah.
I guess have to adapt lah. We hear stories of these and we don't need it to happen to us. But today's case is about someone who's rich. And I brought Gerald in because Gerald runs a business. And later we'll ask a bit more on your business. Let me share with you guys listening in on today's case because you saw a thumbnail. Hey, this guy actually retired early at 36, correct? How did he get there? Today we'll be discussing everything as well as to share some of the points that we ourselves learned listening to his case because we always learn from each other, and someone who is at this stage is definitely a lot more successful than the two of us. So also looking up to some of his points. We'll leave links below also to that documentary on CNBC Make It. But long story short, today's case is about this male, single now, and he's age of 41, but he's actually retired 5 years ago. Right now, he's actually starting his own finance website, and he's big on Instagram. You can check it out, Jeremy. So a bit of context. So his business at 36 got paid $2 million. Wow. So Gerald, I brought you in because you own business there. If someone pays you $2 million, wow, how nice would that be, man?
Very yeah, very, very nice.
Hey, I got that clip, of his bank account jumping with that age. Maybe let's stream that in.
$1 million, which is pretty surreal. My bank account, the moment the wire came through, I clicked refresh and it jumped from $100,000 or so to over $2 million, which is pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Hey, that's Jeremy, but that's crazy, right? Like 160,000 all the way to 2.3 million. Wow, if you see that bank account, you go giddy.
I can imagine the excitement you must feel like, oh, money.
It's like we see crypto price go up. It's also not that ridiculous a jump. But there's a check transfer in. He sold his business. If I'm not wrong, he's tech related. But yes. Gerald, you're in business and you're in badminton business.
Correct.
Can you share a bit on what is it about now?
Yeah, so basically we provide badminton classes conveniently all around Singapore. So we do have a lot of coaches stationed at different places. So we have an app that students can use to sign up, then check into classes flexibly, kind of like signing up for gym, right? So then they can learn and improve and enjoy the sport at their own convenience. So that's what BG is all about fun, about convenience, about learning and enjoying the badminton sport. Yeah.
So how many years have you started this business already?
Right. So actually, right, my dad was a badminton coach. So then he started the brand. So then I kind of wanted to do things my own way. So then I split. I started in maybe 2016. But I stopped during the COVID period because during COVID period they used the sports hall to house the vaccination.
Vaccination, correct.
Not vaccinations and isolation centers. So then that's why it was closed. And because I, at that point of time, due to my life situation, I didn't really need the academy to get by. So I was like, just let it idle. So then we didn't do anything for a good 2 years. So then we only restarted in May this year. Yeah, so it was super busy when we restarted to go.
I go to Safra, I see kids classes running non-stop there.
Yes.
I myself, I'm playing badminton, so I'm a badminton fan. Gerald, of course, is super. Hey, Gerald used to be the national team. Wow,
Once upon a
praise
time.
you high. But I mean, we played badminton before. We are big fans of this sport, and Gerald runs a business in this. So just in case you are listening in and you have kids looking for classes, do absolutely check out BG. And any special promo?
Hey, sure. If yeah, we
Joking,
can.
joking.
Yeah.
And then okay, back to this. So this guy, he's actually sold his business for $2 million. So Gerald, just in case you sell your business, wow, that will come in. Then let's talk about fire, because it's a big rounding point for today's whole podcast. He now lives in US, fully paid house. Both of us own homes. We are on mortgage. So I think it's a good point to learn also, like when you get to retirement, if your house is fully paid, your expenses, you realize, drops a lot. It just becomes a food and transport. Kind of very simple situation. But he's still spending $5,000 in terms of monthly expenses. So he's not stingy in any case. Later, I think we should talk about other kinds of fire, right? What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great. There's actually different types of fire, so that you don't have to. I think we can learn, like, all of us want to try to understand, so that we can adapt the fire that suits us best, our family situation, our goals best, right? And when you were talking about him having fully paid for his house, right? On one hand, you would think like, hey, a bit envious, like, wow, full cash. His house is $1 million, by the way. So full cash. Imagine you take a bag of cash, condo, that's amazing. But on the other hand, if you can make your money work a little bit harder, because housing interest rates is not exactly high.
Now it's been jumping. Latest fixed rate, not out yet. Because banks used to have fixed rates. Then they pulled it off.
That's true.
I hear on the ground expect 4%.
Yeah, but even 4% also, okay, this is where it gets a bit subjective, whether you should, full cash your house or take bank loan, right? For his case, he actually didn't have a choice because he is quote unquote jobless, right? So then the bank wouldn't grant him any mortgage even if he wanted to. So because he could technically buy two houses, with the kind of cash outlay, right? Bought two houses and one rent out for passive income, but he didn't because he had no choice. Yeah, so he can't make that capital work for him in this sense.
I agree. So his case, right, with this capital, I think we can rule out he's not lean fire, like he's not stingy in any case. Also, audiences listening in, if you want us to elaborate more, leave in the comment sections. Or if you have a preferred target you want to achieve fat fire, or if you don't know what is coast fire, we'll be glad to explain a bit more as we run through Jeremy's case for today. But I think let's go to the first few lessons that, when we were looking through a case together, we kind of both resonated with it. And it starts with this. This guy, Jeremy, he retired at the age of 36. And what he shared is this phrase, very golden. Retirement is not an age. Which means if you have the money, you can choose to stop work. Conversely, if you're age of 65, nothing magically happens, correct? So it doesn't mean that you're 65, you can retire. Somebody tells you can retire. It's not. You need to have that money first. So what are your first thoughts when you heard his sharing also, Jared?
Yeah, so yes, I agree, man. Retirement is really not an age. It doesn't mean that once you reach a certain age, you automatically qualify for retirement. It doesn't happen by chance. You kind of need to first work for it, and number two, learn how to manage it well, right? So I think what I really respect about him is, first, he really earned a lot because he created a business, he hustled hard, and not only that, he actually managed that wealth really well. Because there are a lot of stories of people that made a lot of money and they just squandered it all away, So technically they could have retired if they managed it well, but they took high risk, or they just, spend a lot, right? More than they could afford, because there's no limit to how much you can spend, theoretically.
Correct. I mean, a lot of them get swindled around. They help their external family. Somebody wants to start a business, borrow $1 million. You start giving money everywhere, right? It's all little pots, and it adds up very quickly. Yeah, so definitely, he learned how to manage his money. That's true.
Yeah, so because he actually managed his money quite well, actually his spending is quite high relative to a lot of us for a single, right? But it is sustainable. So that's what I really respect. He can manage it in a way that he lives a life that he's truly happy with. So that being said,
high income and also a big capital payoff, selling off the business. So it's two parts. So for someone who reaches financial independence very early, I think these are typical typical routes. You either have high income or you sell away something, an asset. You get a windfall coming in. But also it's how to manage that money. But $2 million, have you ever thought of a price? I just want to poke back at your badminton business. Have you thought of a price? This exiting part sounds very nice. I get stuck at it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Would someone offer you?
2 million is something we're considering. Because I think for small companies, one of the issues you need to evaluate, right? So usually they value about 5 times revenue. I know that my business is growing very quickly now, so it probably can double my performance this year. So
How many students? Curious.
Right now we have about 350.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, any parent listening in, I think the classes must be like $30, $40, $50 per lesson.
$20 an hour.
$20 an hour. 1.5 hours, okay, $30.
Usually it's 1 or 2 hours, just for group classes. Yeah, private is separate pricing altogether.
Wow, Jared driving big revenues.
But I have a lot of stuff, so that's where the revenue go to.
So this trip that you went to Paris, then how do you run business? You
because I have a team of staff that's there, so then I let them know during this week I will be overseas. Can you help me cover certain roles? Because you manage your own business, right? So then there's some wiggle room to move certain things around.
Oh, and anyone else running business, do share also. We're always keen to see different perspectives, how to get the fire. Most of us are in employment, or for myself, self-employed. So always wondering if you have business, one day can sell out a big lump sum coming in. That'd be quite nice. But also managing the money is equally important. Hey, but this guy, Jeremy, I think the next lesson that we should definitely discuss on is when he retired, what happened to him is he left the company, because when you sell a company, you need to stay for a couple of years. That's typical. Then subsequently, he fully retired. Then he went to chill, just went to play games, went to travel, do all the things that we imagine that we would do if we were to leave office and stuff. So he did everything of that. But I think what he shared is something very important. Financial balance is fun at the start. You go holiday for 1 year, you will find it very fun, very fulfilling at first. But then if you start doing that every day, you'll find that it's quite lame, it's quite boring. He started playing computer games and he got addicted to it. But also he couldn't feel that gap that he was looking for. So I guess, right, anybody that is selling business, Gerald, just in case you might sell one day, always, address this before you get to retirement. Find a new purpose or a new thing that you want to absorb yourself in. What do you think of this lesson for us?
Yeah, so I think it's self-fulfillment, right? Like, when I hear that he's playing games, you don't need to be rich to get addicted to games. In fact, a lot of kids are addicted to games. I myself, I love games too. So when I was in school and I was studying, I play a lot of games all day, all night, right? Then didn't really study very, very hard. So there's this sense of, yes, it's entertaining. You get a lot of adrenaline from playing games, leveling up and whatnot. But it's the lack of deeper meaning, right? Fulfillment, purpose. They kind of, you feel like, hey, life is so much more than that, right? Not just leveling up and conquering quests or finding a new, a country to visit or new beach to surf in, right? So then eventually you start to think like, hey, maybe there's more that I can deliver or help out to the world, right?
Purpose, right? I guess that revolves around identity. If we lose that identity, now you are a business owner, small one. You teach badminton. You like that identity because you resonate with it. You hear the praises parents give you if you're a coach, and then it gives you that happy feeling. So I guess anybody that's thinking of financial independence, right, getting there, continue to find purpose in life. It can be volunteering, it can be startup, it can be a lot of things. So always think ahead first. Don't get there unprepared, and then you start to feel that missing gap. Then you might as well don't sell the business because you have lost that fulfillment in a lot of ways. Then what about the next lesson that looking through his case, right? He also described he sold away his business, 2 million came in. He didn't know about financial independence. So maybe let's explain a bit more. I've also left below in the banner you will see running. Financial independence means that if you have 25 years of your annual expenses, you can technically retire with a 4% withdrawal rule, which means if $1 million there, you can cash out 40,000 to consume. And theories have proven that it can last you at least 30 years. So he didn't know about it, but now he understands it. And he shared also very openly. He spends about 5,000 per month, right? That means 60,000. So if he had $1.5 million, that means he technically is FIRE already, financially invest retire early already. So again, everybody, let's think a bit harder. What is the real number that you are looking for? Leave in the comment sections what you think. And Gerald, have you thought of this before or not? This amount?
Yeah, I remember that figure when I calculated. That was a long time ago, though, probably almost 10 years ago. I remember that figure I calculated was close to 8 million something. It was because I wasn't living that a simple life. I also wanted enough money so that I can take care not just myself but also my family. And I think one of the biggest worry I have was emergencies. Yeah, but then again, there's insurance, right? So yeah, maybe I don't need that much.
I think actually we set the bar too high, right? Then we kind of lose focus or we give up on it. So also along the way we can modify things. It's not like a concrete number you write down already. You can never change it. Our expectations also change. Yeah. But I think also 1 million. When I survey around, I think 1 million to 2 million seems to be a common number that I hear on the ground. Because as we know, 2 million you can spend 5,000 already, right? If you are pretty prudent, you fully pay your house, like what we mentioned over here, then it's actually very possible to just live within that means. But in Singapore, house is way more expensive. Correct. So no, for cash flow, because you need to consume, the house cannot be valued as part of that 1 to 2 million. Investable assets can include CPF, because eventually you can cash out some parts of CPF. So CPF included. But house-wise, you cannot consume, and the first part is you need to fully pay off your house. If not, that mortgage 3,000-4,000 is just going to sting. Got it?
Yes. Very. Yeah.
Have you seen mortgage costs going up or not, Jared?
Yes, a lot. And I think this is one of the things that haunts a lot of people in Singapore, right? Especially when you sign the flexible one. From 1.1, I think. Yeah.
I'm on it. You mean the floating rate, right? Yeah, floating rate. Yeah. So for floating rate wise, I'm paying for next month going for is 4% So it's super tall. So a lot of times let's prepare to buy houses prudently.
Yeah, I actually locked in a fixed rates for 2 years, which is weird because back then I kind of guess because I can't predict what Fed is gonna do. So I guess they'll do something. So when we bought the house last year, I signed a 2-year lock-in. So my rate was 1.1%. They still send letters.
Next year you're coming out already there.
Huh?
That's also quite common because you signed last year, right?
Yeah,
2 years next year you're out already there.
Yeah, but 2 years I think it'll go down. But that's my gamble. But they still, even with that contract, I don't know why they could still enforce a change of rates. Yeah. So I need to call the bank and settle.
And anyone else also struggling with mortgage? Leave in the comment sections. We can hear your sorrows on it. Because for myself, I'm receiving letters every month. It's been stepping up. I know I'm on a 1 month SIBOR plus spread. So super tall. So that part. On the main channel, I've been sharing a bit what kind of things to look out for. But fixed rates, expect 4%. Now banks have actually retracted all the packages that they're repricing them. Just in you're listening in, thinking of fixed rates, they are no longer the market already. I checked very recently. Expect them to release something in the next couple of weeks and expect 4%, no longer 3.5% already. So that is the reality. But if you fully pay a house, congrats, you can plan how much you need to retire. And it also leads to the next point. So once you have enough money, the next part is this bonus point. Since you start with us to here, I think when we look through a case, we both resonated with this a lot. When you have enough money, right, you need to find peace also with how much you have. Because there's always a bigger number. There's always a neighbor with more money, bigger car, spending more money than you. Finding peace financially is a skill that we need to keep practicing. Not comparing against others and stuff. This is generally in the direction of feeling happy, feeling satisfied, being grateful. Yeah, so this part, Gerald, what do you think is something that resonated with you?
Yeah, so I think this is amazing. Like, there's 2 parts to it, right? One is choice. Being able to be financially free means you have the choice not to be subjected to any work that you don't like. So choice is one. And number 2 is that I think he chose the word found peace very, very tactfully, because you can always increase on your expenses. And like as I grow older, meet more people, right? 5,000 a month expenditure is not very crazy if you look at all the really rich people around us. And one of the common things that I noticed when that really wealthy people spend a lot is on traveling. Just think of a private jet, man. Flying to Malaysia would be what, 25K 1 hour trip. so you can really splurge very, very quickly if you want to. 300K for one long distance jet, you can just imagine. That's just crazy. So very, very easy to think or spend big. But that's why when you say find peace is when you kind of realize, hey, I don't really need all this.
Enough lah. You have enough.
Sure.
You don't need to worry about using, correct?
It's more than just choice. It's also the ability to say, hey, all this is not going to bring me much fulfillment in life or joy. Maybe it's a bit of intrigue, right? But it's not something that I can live. I'm happy to live without it, basically.
I think also we need to tie in this topic to passive income also, because you want to get to financial independence. You need income sources. Yes, your investments can produce. It can be real estate. It can be stocks. This kind of things, they produce dividend income. But you need passive income sources, side hustles kind of thing. So finding side hustles in your retirement, because right now, this guy, Jeremy, who we've been discussing, he actually runs his own financial blog. So both of us, we are creators also. We understand, hey, this is a way you can earn income. But of course, he must be in front of camera. So Jeremy, he's also done that. He started his own website. He's big on Instagram, actually. You can go and check it out. And he's very active there. He's hired people to create screenshots and stuff on finance. And also, when you get to retirement, look for things that keep you engaged and find ways to monetize it. I think these are things that both of us creators, we kind of appreciate it a bit also.
But more than just the fact that he started to work again, right? Is that he found purpose in helping others. So it's not just that he made it, but because through what he did, he's helping others. Like if you see a lot of people, gurus, right, teaching you to be wealthy, they charge like 5,000, all that stuff. He charges $70 if you want to learn how to build wealth with him. So that's why I think he finds meaning in, hey, every $70, everyone can spare that. Just don't drink so much Starbucks. $70, right? So he found a lot of meaning in that. Yeah.
Hey, I'm also teaching people. I'm doing a Georgetown Finance Summit on main channel. I keep doing shout out. Maybe I should do here. So just in case you are listening in, SMU 3rd of December. If you want to learn on finance, I'll leave details in the links below. So I'll be teaching on finance in SMU. No sales. We're selling tickets fast right now. I would like to share if you what to look out for 2023. We're in a bear market. So I think there are big opportunities. Rather than going fixed deposits and stuff, the fees are charged $47. You can make it back with $2,000 in T-bills, because nowadays people talk about T-bills all the time, right? You can make that passive income very easily and learn the right things. I think that's what I want to deliver. So that's why it's not a free event and I don't want to charge too much. And I want to impact as many people as possible. Yeah, so coming to here, thank you for listening in. As always, leave in the comment sections your thoughts when you go through this case with us. Gerald, good to see you also. Next case, let's chat on something else on finance and business also, since you're big in that.
Yes.
Okay, man. Take care, guys. See you all in the next one. Goodbye.